Grumpy was always my favourite of the seven dwarfs, and apparently for a lot of others as well. Why is that? Well, I think it's because, like Snow White, we knew he had a good heart despite hardly showing it. So when it leads to the scene where Snow White is poisoned and the dwarfs have a funeral for her, Grumpy eventually breaks down over it. That is pretty much the moment when my heart rips in two. But a question arises about the seven dwarfs, including Grumpy. Why are they named based on their personality traits, and what makes them that particular trait? Well, in Once Upon a Time, when the seven dwarfs are born, they go straight to work in the mines, each with their own pickaxe. A name appears on the pickaxe to determine their name and dominant trait. However, Grumpy's original name was Dreamy. In the mines, the dwarfs find fairy or pixie dust from diamonds. Of course, following his trait Dreamy, comes across a fairy named Nova and falls in love with her. Although the blue fairy tells him that this is not love but dreams, and that Nova would end up losing her wings if they run away together. So Dreamy tries to convince Nova to stay with the fairies to fulfill her dream of becoming a fairy godmother. Returning to the mines, he finds his pickaxe no longer works, and his new one brands the name Grumpy. Since then, he acted more like the leader of the seven dwarfs instead of Doc from the movie, but it goes to show that we're not labelled when we're born. It's the choices we make that defines us, and hearing this backstory does explain this small, strange connection between Grumpy and Snow White. We know deep down in that Grumpy mindset there is still a dreamer inside. But what about the mirror? We all know the quote, "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" But really the question is, how did the Queen get hold of a magic mirror? Well, if you listen to the scene carefully, she says, "slave" in the magic mirror. Well, and Once Upon a Time, that is who the mirror is. A slave for the evil Queen, but how? Well, the mirror was originally a genie from Agrabah, washed up on the shores of the enchanted forest in his magic lamp. He is found by Snow White's father, the king, who wishes him a free genie and invites him to the palace. The genie is introduced to the evil queen and falls madly in love with her, to a point where it becomes an obsession that he is encouraged to kill the king for her. He does end up killing the king by a viper, and he finds out that the evil queen tricked him, but still he doesn't want to leave her. He then makes it his final wish to always look upon the Queen's face for all eternity, which traps him into the mirror forever to serve her. Well, you did get what you wished for, although considering you were a genie, you would have thought about your wishes more carefully. But even with that, it does answer the question how the mirror came into existence, but all we can take from this is, well, be careful what you wish for.